Well, good evening, everybody. This is Terry K. Brown with Phenomenal Woman Rise Up. It's so good that you joined us this evening. I would just like to know that everybody is subscribing to my channel, so make sure that you subscribe and make sure that you like it and share it with other people. It's so good to have you with us tonight. Hey, we are continuing with our financial literacy program, and we have a great guest tonight. His name is Wayne McPherson, and he is coming on right now. Hey, Wayne.
Good morning.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to have you on, everybody. This is Wayne McPherson with Financial Investment Group. He is continuing our financial literacy series that we're having this month, and we're so glad to have you.
Hey, glad to be here.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good. Now,
how about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing real good. You know, it's been an interesting week for me this week. But praise God, I'm here. I'm alive. Everything is going well, so I'm not going to complain.
Hey, that's a blessing.
So everybody knows that our hydration here at Phenomenal Woman Rise Up. So cool. Oh my goodness, he's on point. I'm telling you, I've been on this hydration kick, and in fact, yesterday I was at ER with my daughter. She probably don't want me to tell it, but she was dehydrated. And I was telling her, you just dehydrated. You know, that's what the problem is. Because weather change, you know, ain't nobody keeping up with their liquids. And that's why they come up dehydrated.
It's important even when it's not hot. So, you know, once the heat kick in, you definitely got to be hydrated.
That's true. Well, okay, I can chit chat and everything, but let's get the show started. Now, Wayne, tell us where you work, what you do, how you got started, what you like about it, and then we'll go from there.
Let's see what I do, what I like about it. We'll go from there. Okay. So I'm the co-founder as well as the chief marketing officer for Financial Investment Group. Financial Investment Group, we have been in business for about 7.5 years now. Wow. Now, funny about it is that what we do is we actually teach financial literacy with a primary demographic, but not limited to high school kids. And when we first started Financial Investment Group, that was actually not our mission. You know, we did want to be able to do some community service work, but it was not geared around financial literacy. So what's funny is that when we first came together, it was just a group of friends that came together, and we were looking at ways to be able to create passive income. And in the midst of it, because of the name of our business, one of my partners that lives in Atlanta, a high school called Pebblebrook High School, actually reached out to her and asked, like, hey, would you guys be willing to come to our school to be able to teach a financial literacy workshop to our seniors and some of their parents? Oh. So we thought it was an awesome opportunity. So what we did was my partner here, Jimmy Gray, and then my partner I have two partners. Jimmy Gray, he's here in Cleveland. My other partner, her name is Nicole Simon. She's down in Atlanta. So my partner Jimmy and I, we said, hey, you know, we left out of our day jobs, literally left from work, jumped on a plane, went down to Atlanta. Next day, we went ahead and we put on the workshop. Workshop was awesome. So from there, we had decided at that moment that this is what we wanted to do with our business. It was like we were kind of like struggling to like really figure it out. You know, those first couple of years of business are the toughest. And, you know, and we were still trying to figure things out. We were burning through a lot of capital, just couldn't get it right. But once we figured that part out, it's been smooth sailing from there. So from there, we went on to become certified in teaching what it is to being financial educators, been educating ourselves in the process. And here we are 7.5 years later. We've been, helping out in the community. We've been doing even community service at like the juvenile courts, doing workshops there to give them a different option of going out to be able to clean up on the street or, do other things like that. It's like, hey, if you're going to do something and be punished, how about I punish you with learning about money? So, we've been doing things like that. We've partnered with other people to do things like fitness and finance boot camps to be able to help kids to be able to learn money while being able to be healthy. So, we have a lot of things to come, and that's Financial Investment Group.
Oh my God, I had no idea you guys were doing all that. See, I met Wayne at the Boston's Breakfast because
Yes.
on our show last week, I talked to Michelle Layton, who was also
Ah,
on
Michelle.
Breakfast. So
Yes.
so many important people I met at that breakfast, but I am impressed at the fact that you guys work with teens, because
Yes.
it's like if you don't teach children how to be financially literate, they will grow up to be financially illiterate adults. I can
Absolutely.
say that 3 times.
Absolutely.
And it's not that people are stupid. And a lot of people that are adults that don't handle money well aren't stupid. They just haven't been shown the value of handling money well. And it has to be a learned thing. And to start as a senior, where most seniors might have like an after school job, where they're making a little bit of money and you're going in there and teaching them, that's just great. Oh my God.
Well, let's see. Well, for that particular event, we did showcase that for seniors. But as far as what we do is we start teaching as young as 7 years old. So, now, and I feel like that children should start to learn even earlier than that. As early as they're able to comprehend, they should start learning about finances. Like by the time you become a senior, you should be ready.
Right. I tell you, there's some young people, because I don't think they teach cursive anymore in school, that don't know how to sign their name on a check. And
Exactly.
they say, well, nobody uses checks anymore. That's old school. No, when you get that $1 million check and they decide they want to give you a check instead of putting a draft in or in the bank, and you can't sign your name, it's something that's simple. I know it's kind of petty, but it's just when thinking about youth, they're so smart and they catch on so well. It's like you should just teach them those little things. Like you said, at 7, if you have a lemonade stand like Lauren McGuthrie, who is my teen entrepreneur, she started out as a lemonade stand. Now she's selling shirts and everything in her shop. Her mom taught her early.
Yeah. We definitely have to learn early. Like you mentioned, you said being able to sign your name on a check. I'm trying to teach them to just learn how to be able to fill out a check.
Hey, it can be complicated. And if you put the wrong zero in the wrong place, and
oh my gosh,
don't write it out properly, you can wipe your whole bank account out. It can happen. And you can tell I've done that.
No, you didn't.
I've written I'm telling you, I ended up making a really big payment on a bill because I was writing it fast and didn't pay attention, put an extra zero, and then because I looked at the amount, and then you look at the number amount, and then you just write out what it is, and so okay.
Oh no. It happens. It happens.
Okay. So you've explained, I go through my little list of questions. You've explained the reason why getting help with financial literacy education is necessary, and starting from a young age. But can you tell us, I know you've come across people that are of age that know how to write out a check, have a bank account, but just don't know how to manage their money as far as making their money make money. Do you guys handle that?
We absolutely do. And even with that there, it kind of goes back to what you said before. It's not that people are stupid. They've just never learned. And what I will say is that unfortunately, in our community, and when I say our community, I mean the Black community, this is not something that it is that we have made a priority in our community, which is to learn money, which is to learn how to go about investing, and you asked if this is something that we do. Yes, it is part of the process, but you have to start with baby steps. Like you said, they know how to fill out a check and things like that. But a lot of times that's as far as it goes. Some people, all they know how to do is just pay their bills. And some people still struggle with that. So yes, that is something that we lead up to. But we start from the beginning and then we figure out exactly where you are financially. It's kind of like if you were getting ready to go to school or college or something like that, and you have to take like these pre-assessment tests and things like that because they want to see exactly where you stand so they can know where you need to start. So pretty much that's what Financial Investment Group does, starting off with customers to see where you are, where your current knowledge is, and then we take things from there as far as how we go about educating.
What do you think, what do you find is like the biggest hurdle that people have to get started with a financial investment person? What, I know it's going to be about people thinking you shouldn't pay for it, but what other hurdles do you find in doing business with people?
The biggest hurdle I would say is mindset. That's the absolute biggest hurdle, because sometimes we veer away from certain things because we think it's hard. Sometimes we become just set in our ways. When we get to a point of living our lives a certain type of way and we've become comfortable that way, it's like, I don't want to learn something different. Or, some people, it's almost like some people don't believe that the education, they will get the return on the investment of their education. And, and I will say that as an educator, I get frustrated sometimes because, especially being on social media, because I see so many people complaining about their finances, or I'm going through this, or I'm going through that. And I look like, there's a very, very simple solution to this. And that solution is you need to learn money. Yeah. You need to be able to take a step back and learn what it is that you're doing wrong with your current finances in order to be able to push forward. So I would have to say the biggest obstacle that it is that I've come across has been financial, and also being able to break through people's lack of discipline when it comes to money, because you have a lot of people that they want to be able to live a certain type of lifestyle, but you don't have the finances to be able to support the lifestyle that it is that you want to live. So if it comes down to it where you have to pay for educational services in order to be able to better your financial situation, you would rather hang on to something that you don't need in order to let go of something you don't need in order to get something that's going to be beneficial to you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say the biggest obstacle is us.
And you know what? It's like a social media. When you brought it up, I was like, oh gosh, because one of the problems I found with social media is that people think other people are living better than them. And then they're trying to keep up with them with, the look and this and that in the car and all this and that. And it's just, it took me a long time to understand growing up about taking time to do things that are going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Taking the time to learn, don't buy a brand new car off of the lot. Here's why, not just because you don't want to buy it because it looks so good and it's bright and shiny and new, because as soon as you drive it off the lot,
it depreciates.
Immediately. Yeah, something that simple, changing your mindset is something that a lot of people just don't know, first of all, about the new car situation. And then the fact that social media, hey, I got a new ride, I want that ride, I'm going to buy it brand new. And that's just not smart financial I don't know.
I agree. That's just not a smart financial decision. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking anybody that does go and purchase a car brand new. It's just that if you're going to go and purchase a car brand new, just make sure you can actually afford it, and or get something that fits into your budget versus going and being like, hey, if you don't go and buy a brand new Benz when all you can afford is a brand new Toyota Camry. It just doesn't make sense. And don't go and buy a brand new Toyota Camry when you really can only afford one that's about 2 or 3 years old.
Mm-hmm. And it's a hard thing to change the mindset of people who think like that. Because I'm telling you, I was one of those people who said, okay, I work. I want to have nice things. And so I figure out how to get the money to get those nice things. And then I have this nice thing that I'm paying for. And I'm like, well, I can afford it. But, what you guys would probably teach me is that, what, even though you can afford it, you probably don't need to get that right there.
Right. Exactly. Listen. So the worst clients for me to deal with are the ones that live in my home. So listen, it's funny because I can go and talk to other people. I can go and talk to other kids. But when it comes to the people in my household, oh my God, they are the worst. Nobody listens to me. They know better. They know, but oh my gosh, I'm constantly just like, no.
No, get a sign and walk around.
Right.
Not today.
Like, Dad, can I have water? No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying no. I'm saying no to everything.
Well, it's the people that are closest to us are always hardest to
Always.
what's going on.
Family, and even some of my closest friends, but it's all in love though.
So you were talking about you find the hurdle is getting people to understand that they have to, why they should pay to get financially literate. And it's like, I don't know, those type of situations where people say, well, why should I pay you to tell me what to do with my money?
You don't have to. You don't have to.
When you think about people like, I remember watching Oprah one day, and she had Jennifer Hudson on, and this when Jennifer was first starting out. And Jennifer Hudson said, Oprah Winfrey gave me the best information about finances. And she said, make sure I sign my own checks and know what's going on with my money. So you could pay an accountant to take care of your money, but if you don't know what's going on with your money, you could get screwed up. So just let people know, let the audience know why it's important to have somebody like you and your company and pay you, because everything that you get that's beneficial, you either have to pay for it or spend a lot of time in it. So let them know why, because I know that's what's going through some people's minds. Why should I pay somebody? So let them know why.
Well, more than likely, if you have to even ask that question, then your situation speaks for itself. That's the first thing, because here's my question. My question to them would be what's your alternative? And if your alternative is going and doing something different that you don't have to pay for, why haven't you done it already? Because if it was so easy to be able to just manage your finances with the lack of knowledge in order to understand how to do so, you would be doing it already. You wouldn't be in the financial situation that you're in. And you're paying somebody for a service. So I'm going to speak for myself and my company. You're paying us because we're experts. And we're experts in helping you to be able to turn your situation around. One thing that I see a lot, I'm sorry, and I just want to just switch gears just a second here. What I see a lot, you have a lot of people that always say, well, you don't have to pay for that, you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay for that, you can do it yourself. Yeah, if I could probably operate on myself as a doctor if I wanted to, but there's a reason why I don't, because I don't know how. There's a lot of things that it is like, my grandfather taught me something when I was very, very young. He said, it's two things that you got to pay for. You pay for things that you don't know how to do and things that you don't want to do. And yeah, you're right. You absolutely can do it for yourself, but do you want to? And because a lot of people, they're paying for it because they don't trust themselves to make the wrong decision and put themselves in a worse situation. So what you're doing is, what you want to do is, you're not just going to just paying any old body to do something for you. You want to get someone that is credible, that is going to do the right thing by your situation. So going back to what you said, another example, Jennifer Hudson talked to Oprah. She said, you want to write your own checks. No matter, I outsource a lot of my business, but for everything that it is that I outsource, I'm still learning it also, because of what you just said. I want to understand even that part of the business. So I don't want to have anybody ripping me off. You're not just going to take my money. And then another thing, I hate rework. I don't want think about this. You ever had work done on your home with a contractor, and then you probably might have gotten a bad contractor, and then the moment that it goes bad, you got to bring in another contractor. Well, in the midst of this, you know what you're doing? You're spending more money. So what you want to do is you want to alleviate these other financial issues. You want to be able to pay someone. If you can't do it yourself, if you have the time to be able to do your own research, read up on things, educate yourself, I think that's awesome. But if you're like, hey, I'm starting from scratch, I need to learn this. Okay, you can go to college and probably not get the information that we'll teach you, or you can come see us. So you have different alternatives, but it's just like, which alternative is going to most benefit what it is that you need for your situation. But I would say, talk to the experts and let us get you on track to your financial goals. goals.
And that's it, goals. That's the word I was waiting to hear.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people don't set financial goals, and
They
it's
don't.
so important. And I'm not saying that I've done everything right, but once I've learned that, okay, if you don't know how to set a financial goal, you will never meet a financial goal because it's always going to be an unexpected bill. It's always going to be something that happens. Sometimes you have a medical situation that comes up. And there, I think Susie Ehrman or Goldman or something was saying you should have 6 months of financial
Your salary.
Yep, 6 months saved up. And I remember when I heard that, I think it was maybe about 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago. And I'm thinking, no, nobody had that saved up. Yes, they do.
Absolutely. They do. And it's really more so I don't want to 6 months of your salary is fine. I say if we're going to go 6 months, 6 months of your monthly expenses.
Exactly.
Because your salary may not match up to 6 months of your of expenses, because you get, depending on what your financial situation is, you got some people, they're paying their bills, but they're also going into debt because they're overspending, they're not budgeting properly. So then now when you've run out of capital as far as your income, now you're starting to use your credit card to be able to pay another bill and everything like that. And some people are starting to just drown slowly and they don't even realize it.
So you guys can help someone set up a saving and budgeting plan also.
Absolutely.
As well as how to meet goals for the future too.
Well, it starts with that. Like any of your like all of the things you just mentioned, like financial goals, budgeting, savings, these things all go hand in hand. And the reason why a lot of people fall into a lot of the bad financial situations is because they're doing things out of order. Like, for example, okay, so you're barely above water with your finances. And then next thing you know, you get a raise at your job. And as soon as you get this raise at your job, instead of you looking at that as an opportunity to probably save more money or probably maybe pay off some debt or something like that, you go and create a new bill because it's like, oh, now I can afford that. No, you can't. You were already drowning before. You have to do things. You have to do things in a certain order in order to be able to get yourself to what we all like to call financial freedom.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do. And I'm shaking my head and laughing because this was me for so long.
I think it was all of us.
I mean, that's all I did. I worked. And especially because I was a single mom for a long time, and the mindset, like you said, because there are some single moms who are out here slaying it financially, okay? Because they have the mindset to understand, okay, you want the best for your children, but you have to give them the best at this financial level. Just because your child wants to do this or do that, and you want them to be on this team and that team, it might be better for you to just regulate it to a smaller scale. And then as they grow older, see what they like. I mean, those kind of things, we're just not taught to implement and so that we can be in a better financial place later on. Just like, what do you think? Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I'll say this again, everything is going to always tie back to mindset because I've seen a situation where a parent that's struggling financially will do all of the things for their kid from a materialistic perspective. You can't afford this, but because of that materialistic mindset, you have to have your child look in a certain type of way to be able to impress people that don't even care. Then I have a situation, I have a good friend that is very, 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 that does very well for himself. I'll say him and his wife, they both do very, very well for themselves. And when they can afford to be able to put themselves and their children in all type of different name brand materialistic things. But instead, every time I see him posting something about his kids, it's some type of business being opened. It's something educational. It's something about money management. It's about the things that actually make sense as far as the financial education for him versus letting them go and burn through a bunch of money just because, hey, I can afford this and everything like that. So you're already creating generational wealth. You and your wife are doing well for yourselves, and you've taken that and now you're instilling it into your children. They're going to take that mindset and they're going to run with that once they get older, and they're going to be able to go and prosper, and then they're going to be able to pass that down to their children. That's the mindset that it is that we should have. And I'm not even against people, because hey, listen, I like to buy nice things. I buy nice things for my kids as well, for my wife, whatever the case may be, but I still educate, I still teach. So I'm not against anybody that can do it, just be able to afford it.
Yeah. And it's hard. Like we have been talking about the whole show, is that mindset, and it's about changing it. And you can change the way you think, but we need help. We need help with it. It's just that simple, because I was one of those people who was always looking for someone to help me financially, to teach me how to do this and that. And in our community, and I'll say in the Black community, we don't find people at the average Joe level that are willing to do that, that aren't willing to rip you off while they do it. Now, if you're in the six-figure bracket, you can find financial people at that level if you're in our community to help you manage your money, manage your 401k, and do all that. But when you're making $45,000, $50,000 a year, you're just, oh, I'm just trying to pay my bills and make it. And you think because you're doing well like that, okay, I'm doing good. But you don't have anybody at that financial level that's telling you you're doing good, but
you could be doing better.
Exactly. You could be.
Yeah. One thing I do want to add also, if you don't mind, is you spoke about hurdles. Another big hurdle that I don't want to leave out, because you do have some people that are like, hey, I do want the education, but you have some people that can't afford the education. Yeah, yes, there are some people that you can't afford the education because you're just being irresponsible with your finances. But you have some people that just really just don't have the money. They're doing what it is that they're supposed to do. They may just not make enough money. It happens. So, I don't want to discredit those people. And due to that, what FIG is also in the process of doing, we're also going to be opening up a nonprofit organization. And then with that nonprofit organization, we want to be able to start bringing these educational tools to the community for free for people that can't afford it. So that is something that it is that we're looking to do as well, because for me, it's about being able to empower the community. It's not about being able to get the money. Now, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, these are businesses. So everybody has to be compensated. Things have to happen. But at the same time, the education is more important to the community. Like my partners and I, we have additional streams of income and things like that. We're fine. So like you said, you have some people that are looking to be able to rip off the community. They're not even given the proper education and everything like that, because it's about the money for them. This area of our business, of course, we run a for-profit business. So of course, businesses have to run, they have to, you have to be paid. But at the same time, I am looking forward to being able to go out here and be able to get this information out to the community for the people that can't afford our services.
And that's wonderful. That is great. Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? They are community concerned. They're concerned about the community. So at the end of the show, you're going to find out information about what they're doing. And then you can also keep up with what they're doing to find out when they have workshops and everything like that. Because you guys know that when you put it out there, it always comes back 100-fold. You know how that works.
Yeah.
So it's just good to hear that, because there are a lot of people, hardworking people, that thank God, the minimum wage has gone up. That's one good thing COVID did.
But inflation is pretty much, balanced it out. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But just because someone is a dishwasher and working 40 hours a week does not mean that they can't be financially literate, and a lot of these companies, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. How do you feel about the 401k situation? Because, interest rates, everything is changing. Do you guys educate people about 401ks, 403bs, and things like that?
So what I would say is this is there are certain things that it is that we individually know about, but there's certain areas that we don't necessarily cross over in because we're financial educators. We're not financial advisors. Like when you get to the point of being a financial advisor, that's when you can start telling people where to invest their money. See, I can teach you how to invest, but I'm not going to tell you where to invest. Now, I can speak to you off the record outside, I can speak to you as Wayne, but not a representative of FIG. And I can tell you my personal thoughts about investing or where you should invest, but that's a private conversation because I'm not going to be sued for you saying, "Hey, I invested my money there." I can't do that and everything like that. But as far as the 401ks go and everything like that, I'll say this about a 401k. I'm not against 401ks. I think it's a great tool to be. If you're on a job that has a 401k and your company is matching your 401k, you should absolutely have a 401k set up. Now, if your company's not matching it and you're just putting the money in, you got to understand that the company that your job is using for the 401k, they're pretty much investing your money. You want to be able to keep an eye on where they're investing your money because there's a possibility that you could lose your money that's in your 401k. It is a possibility. So myself personally, I would prefer to invest my own money. But if you are being matched, you should absolutely have a 401k, 403bs. There's so many different ones for depending on what type of job you have and everything like that. But I'm a fan of it if it makes financial sense. If you're just putting the money in there and then it's like, hey, you know what? Over the course of these 5 years, I've put in about 100,000, but now my account says that I only have 60,000 of it. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but that's my personal opinion. That is not FIG advice. just let you guys know. So everything I'm about making money.
Okay. Yeah, because and I'm right there with you about the 401ks. And like I said, I wasn't very financial literate and I still have a long way to go. And I'll be using your services, my husband and I, because we're in our 60s, and a lot of people think, oh, I'm 60 years old, I got a pension, I got this and that. I'm over the financial literacy thing. I don't believe that. I think that as long as you have money and you want to do something with money, it doesn't make a difference how old you are. You should get financially literate. Do you agree?
I 110% agree. And I want to say something too. Like you said you and your husband are in your 60s. Okay. And then you mentioned pension.
Yeah.
So something else that it is that I'm very, very big on right now at this point in time is teaching young adults about retirement. And reason being is because one thing is what I've noticed is a lot of people, when they go to retire, a lot of them end up having to go back to work. They're having to go back to work. And a big reason is because they didn't know, hey, I don't even have a pension with my job. Or, hey, you've waited to get Social Security, but you're realizing that Social Security isn't even enough to be able to take care of your bills monthly that it is that you've accrued over these years. So either you got to scale your lifestyle down, or you have to find a way to be able to get that additional income to be able to pay for those bills. So what I talk to people about is the goal is to, when you get ready to retire, you should be able to stay retired. And I talk to people like, and even in my generation, like with everything that's going on, like, what if we don't get Social Security? What are you going to do? What are you prepared for retirement? And what does that look like? Because jobs nowadays, unless you're in the medical field or, you work for the city or the government or something like that, jobs are not giving pensions the way that they used to give pensions, back when the generations, that's older than us used to be able to go to work. You turn 18, you work your job for about 30 years. And then next thing you know, you get a pension, you get your Social Security, you might have a 401k, and you might be okay to be able to manage your household. Those are not the times now. You have got to find a way to be able to invest your money to be able to have passive income. You have to have some type of way to generate revenue to be able to come into your household so you can be able to, and you don't have to wait until you're 60 to retire. As soon as you get to the point where you're like, hey, you know what? I have enough passive income to be able to come into my household, to be able to take care of all of my bills, to be able to take care of the lifestyle I want to live as far as vacationing, doing anything that it is that I want to do, I'm fine. And if you want to make that choice to sit up there and sit back and retire at 40 because you can do it, you should be able to. The American dream that it is that's been painted for us Listen, I'm trying to modify it every day. Every day I'm trying to modify it and get people to understand something different, because in my personal opinion, and I have no problem with saying, it's a joke.
It is.
It's a joke. There's something better. Why am I going to sit up there and work hard, slaving for 20, 30 years of my life, only to get to a certain point and be like, all right, you know what, my body hurt, I'm tired, I want to take a nap. Like, no, I want to be able to enjoy the world and enjoy this one life that it is that I get, while I'm at an age where I got the energy to be able to do everything.
Ooh. Oh, that's right.
That's how I feel. That's why I feel like it's important to be financially literate and make mature financial decisions at an early age, because a lot of people don't understand you could be living a great lifestyle in your 20s, in your 30s and everything like that. You don't have to wait until you're 60 to say, all right, now I'm gonna retire and now I want to go and get a vacation home somewhere. And most people can't even do that. You're just happy to not have to go to work every day. And then a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm going to continue to work because I'm bored. I don't have nothing else to do.
Yep, because you can't do anything. You can't vacation. You can't do anything.
You haven't prepared for it.
Structured just to live exactly the way you've been living.
Exactly.
It's lucky to have that, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know what? Yeah, these things are all important. Like, and being able to do something as simple as, like, I try to get people, break the mold, you know, like our big message that it is that we promote with Financial Investment Group is build wealth, break curses. I should have wore one of my t-shirts for this so people could see it, but build wealth, break.
What'd you say, Wayne? Build wealth,
break curses.
Break curses. Okay.
And, you know, and that message, a lot of people hear that message and they automatically think financial, but it's not just financially based, it's generational curse, period. It could be anything from just the broken homes due to you know, divorces. It could be the teenage pregnancy. It could be molestation is going on. It could be drug addiction. You know, the list goes on. And what's happening is that a lot of these things are happening in the households in the Black community. And what's happening is that it's just continuing to just get passed down. And I'm trying to get people to think different and do some things different, because we're continuing to teach ourselves. We glorify toxicity.
Okay. Or
we glorify
under the rug, shove it under the rug like it ain't happening.
You know, things happen in households, and as kids, they're being taught that you don't speak about things outside of the house and things like that. Like this whole mission that Financial Investment Group is on is bigger than money. It's much bigger than money. It's really about trying to improve the mindsets of the community, because there's a lot going on, and we can talk about being oppressed as much as we want to, but we can't get to a point of eliminating oppression until we stop oppressing ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to stop oppressing ourselves. But a big part of that does come from something different. That's a different conversation, but we have to take care of us first. And until we start taking care of ourselves, nobody else is going to take us serious.
Amen. That is so true. That's so true. That's what my husband and I are trying to do with, we have adult children, but we're trying to get the mindset of our grandchildren. We've got 11 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just
oh, wow. Congratulations.
That's where our money goes. No. But we're just trying to get them to understand about property, land, you know, insurance,
ownership.
Being the lender, borrow off of your own money. You know, that's what I'm trying to get it right, and do things like that, because it wasn't taught to my generation, because of the generation before me. They were just trying to make sure we could get to college, we could have not be in jail, you know. And the generation before them, they still couldn't even use the same water fountain as white people, you know. So I mean, that's where I'm at. I was born in 1960. So, you know, our children, we were just glad that they're adults, they haven't been to jail, they didn't sell drugs.
Yeah.
They have their families, they're raising their children. So some of them went to college. We're happy about that. So the next generation is what you're talking about, getting them prepared to understand money runs stuff, okay? Ownership is always the goal. You can't not own what you are already in, you know, and things. I agree. Just getting out of the mindset, well, if I'm living comfortable, I'm fine. No, you have to plan, set goals. This is what financial investment group is all about. Everything that I hope you guys have been writing stuff down. You see, I've been writing stuff down. I'm the host of the show that he's on. Okay.
Well, here I want to touch on some on one other thing. Talking about the generations to come. I want to, if it's okay, I want to just tell a story of something that I was at someone's house. They were having like a little get together and everything like that. And a lot of times when I go to places, that people know who I am and what I do, the first thing that happens is that they start asking me questions about money, and I love doing it. It's not a big deal. I love it. If you could suck me into a conversation about money, you got me. But the question that was asked was, if you're a person, you're not rich, you're not a business owner or anything like that, but you want to be able to create generational wealth for your family, what's a good way to do so? And I said, life insurance. I said, get a life insurance policy. And before I even got a chance to even say this, what I'm going to say, one of the people in the room said, I'm not getting no life insurance policy. And what was funny was that they mentioned something that was similar to a mindset that I used to have at one point in time, but mine was a little bit different. But I said, why wouldn't you want to get a life insurance policy? She said, because I'm not going to leave that type of money behind to my kid that's going to squander it. And I said, good timing. I said, because one thing that I tell people anytime I talk about life insurance is, I say, make sure that your beneficiaries are financially literate, because that's exactly what's going to happen. We got a lot of people that's like, hey, I got a life insurance policy. There's been life insurance policies passed down tons of times. And by the time the person gets the money, within a year, the money's gone, because they never learned how to manage the money. So I will say to all the listeners that are there, if you have a life insurance policy, whoever is on that policy as your beneficiary, you need to make sure that they know how to manage money, or you are wasting your time. That money will be gone, and it's going to be gone quick, because a lot of people, they don't understand how to manage even the little bit of money that they had. Just because you get more money, it doesn't mean that you're going to all of a sudden understand money. It just means that you've got a bigger supply of money to be able to go through and just blow. That's all that really truly means. Now, and we also have to share this. Earlier, my early 20s, I was in the Army. The Army gave us a life insurance policy. Didn't even have to pay for it. At least, I don't know, it might have came out of my check or something, but at the time I didn't understand finances to know what was going on. But I remember when they were telling me about the amounts and everything like that, I was like, I don't care about a life insurance policy. Like, well, why not? I'm like, I want nobody benefiting from my death. This was one of probably the most poverty mindsets and selfish mindsets ever. Just thinking like, I'm not about to sit up here and be out here broke, and then something happened to me, and then somebody else gonna sit up there and get rich off my death. By far the most selfish mindset ever. But I say that because I know I'm not the only one that think like this.
I was just saying, a lot of people
think like this. And it's like, but that mindset is the reason why our community is where it is today. I was just reading a story. I wasn't familiar with this story at all, but I like coming across things like that, but like this. But I guess there's a family from like the early 1900s. It was a Black family that purchased some land in Manhattan Beach, I guess, in Manhattan Beach. And I guess right now the descendants of that family are working on trying to be able to get the land back. So what ended up happening is that they bought this land. I think they said for like $1,200. I can't remember the name of the Black family. They bought this land, Manhattan Beach, for like $1,200. And what they did was they had it as a place for Black people to go and be able to enjoy themselves. This was out in California, for them to be able to go enjoy themselves, because they weren't able to go into white places and go and do anything. So, but of course, during those times, they were being harassed. Like I think they said that the county even went and set up there and put street parking signs up on their beach to make it where you can only park for 10 minutes, to just make it where it wasn't desirable to be able to go there. Long story short, they eventually ended up taking this land away from the Black people or whatever for like a fraction of what they were asking for it and everything like that. And that same piece of land that they got for $1,200, like in the back in 1920s, is worth over 20 million today. And I say that to say this. We have to get back to the point of ownership. Like we could think about Black Wall Street and everything like that. When we did own things, when we did build things and everything like that, it was destroyed. It was torn down. So like when I hear a lot of people saying like Black people don't want to own anything, we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that, it stemmed from something. That's the other area of oppression. That's the other area of things that are affecting the community now. But we're in a different day and age. And we have different rights, although it's still an uphill battle with a lot of things that it is that we're trying to still be able to do and everything like that. But we are in a better position to be able to own and to be able to build than what things were back in the day. And I encourage everybody out there to be able to become financially literate, be able to learn how to invest, learn how to be able to have ownership in some things in order to be able to create that generational wealth, to be able to pass down for generations to generations, so we can start to become those powerhouses in our country and everything like that, and be able to just live the lives that it is that we dreamed of living, and seeing our descendants be able to do the things that we might not have been able to do. But it has to start with us. Somebody out there is going to be the person that's going to create generational wealth for their family. I don't know who that's going to be, but I want it to be all of us.
Okay. That's so true. I'm so glad that you said all of that. Listen, people, listen to what this man is saying. It's a simple process, really. It's taking that first step and then building on that step and building on that step. There's never too small of a start. So with my granddaughter that's 16, she got her first job. I said, look, sweetie, if you can put $5 in the bank, you're 16, $5 in the bank. If you don't trust the bank, put it in your jar, whatever. Don't spend $5 every week when you get paid, or every 2 weeks when you get paid. And then at the end of the year, see how much money you have, and then make a conscious decision to use that money wisely. And that's all that Wayne is saying, people. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire and call yourself rich to manage your money. You could be everyday Joe or Jane and learn how to manage your money and build wealth on your money. Because if you have children, you are not going to want your children to have to struggle financially because you didn't teach them how to manage your money.
It's not about how much you got, it's about how much you do, it's about what you do with it. And I've seen people that have had average job, that were average earners, be able to turn average earnings into empires because they were disciplined about what they did with their money. They cared more about the long-term decision with their money than they cared about the short-term things. Like you got a lot of people, they want to party. They want to buy a lot of material things. They want the car. It's a lot of things that they're going to burn their money on now that carries no value. And then next thing you know, you get into those older years, and then you start thinking about everything that it is that you could have done with your money. So with that being said, I'm going to say one thing that it is that we start off with every single client that it is that we have, the very, very first thing that we talk about, that the first topic that it is that we go through is financial psychology. Because in order for me to help you to get to your financial goals, I have to understand how you think. I have to understand why your spending habits are what they are. Listen, when I tell you, majority of my clients already know money. They just have an issue with discipline. You have people that are overspenders because of depression. The same way that you have people that may overeat due to depression. You have people that shop because of depression. You have some people like you will be surprised at all of the different reasons why people blow their money, knowing better. It's like, I know I can't afford that. I know I shouldn't buy that, but I'm going to do it anyway, because if I don't do it, then my friends are going to think that I'm broke because I can't afford to do this, or because I can't. We care too much about what other people think. And all we're doing is drowning ourselves, because at the end of the day, once you've gone ahead and you've exhausted all of your finances, guess what? Those same people that you were trying to hang on to, they're going to be gone. And they're going to leave you right back broke. And then you're going to be sitting there telling a lot of the same sob stories that a lot of people talk about on social media. Nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to do this. You got to help yourself. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm just
No,
speaking on I'm
no,
speaking on my own experiences and what I see.
no, I want you to tell it because you know it, and you
Yeah.
see the people, and that's what this show was all about. For you guys to understand, coming from someone who does this all the time and is successful at it, why it's important to become financial literate. And just because you pay your bills every month and you're living okay, does not make you financially literate. And it's important for you to get this. It's not an option. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a difference between being financially literate and being financially responsible. Because if you take the information that you have and you're doing right by it, that's a great thing. But being financially literate is educating yourself to just broadening your mindset as far as the capabilities that you could have, the places that it is that you really, really could take this thing. And there's a lot of people out there that's like, hey, they feel like that everything is good. Like, well, no, I pay my bills. Like you have got to understand money. And I will tell you, learning money is life-changing. It is life-changing. Like once you learn the things that it is that you can do with money, when I tell you the light bulb popped on for me, like with me and my partners, with everything that it is that we've learned. I don't want people to think that, hey, saying like we were raised up in this. Like, no, we learned. And both my partners, we all went to college together. We know the broke years. We remember our struggles and everything like that. And we think we know what things we know now that we didn't know then. And we're just like, oh my God. Now I will say at a younger age, it would have been good to know a lot of this information, but there's still an immaturity with us at a young age where we still would have made irresponsible decisions because that's just the nature of people. But I still wish I would have known a lot of what it is that I know when I was coming up. And that's why I feel like it's important to be able to educate the young community about these things.
Well, I tell you, I've learned a lot today. I learned a lot when I was at the breakfast. I was just soaking it all
I
up.
guess so it's tough because I can't get it all in, like one segment, but it's so much that it is that we can't learn. I'm still learning. So like I can't even say the sky's the limit because it's so much information out there to be able to learn in order for us to all be able to be prosperous. And I just hope you guys just like really trust the process of understanding like, hey, let me learn this. Let me change my situation. And as far as your financial goals, understand this, write your goals down, come up with a realistic plan to be able to accomplish that goal. You get some people that's like, they save money. And I asked somebody one time, I'm like, what you saving money for? I don't know. Because we were taught to just save money and just like harbor money. And it's like, nothing's wrong with being able to save money, but what's your goal with saving money? Are you putting together an emergency fund? Are you saving money because you have a trip that it is that you want to be able to go on? What is your purpose of saving money? And then in addition to it, of that money that you're saving, how much are you investing? What are you doing to make your money make money for you?
Yeah, that's it. That's where my light bulb was going.
Yeah, we were always taught, we were told to save,
Yep.
but we were not told you have to invest because money don't make money in the bank. Money don't make money in the bank. It's just sitting there waiting for you to be able to take it and be able to do something. Oh, my car broke down. Let me go do that. That's nothing wrong with that. That's an emergency fund. You should have an emergency fund. Yeah. You absolutely should. But what are you doing to be able to make money with your money? Because that's what's going to be life-changing for you.
I tell you, because before I became a nurse, I was a corporate legal secretary for like 15 years. And it was like nobody that has money wastes their money on things that they're going into. They use other people's money. They use the money that they invested or made money off of. They don't take their personal money. They have certain money that they use. That's just my investment money that I use on investments. That money is what I make money off of. I have this money for living my life. This money, it's just about being smart about your money. And it's like, I was amazed at how people that have financial literacy operate differently with their money than people who just think, oh, well, I'm saving to buy this car. I'm doing the right thing. But there's people that are financially literate, what Wayne is talking about, they say, yeah, I'm going to save that money, but I'm going to buy that car with this over here because I made car buying money off of that investment or that property that I own or this or that. It's like, it's how you move your money. It's not just saving, like you said, money. It's how you move your money strategically to get where you want to be and what you want. And
I encourage everybody, if you have credit issues, call me. Fix your credit. Fix your credit, because here's another thing, like what you were just talking about, using other people's money. How do you use other people's money to be able to do any type of investing or anything like that if you show yourself not to be credible? Because that's what it's really about. Like my wife and I, we're real estate investors. Well, she's a real estate agent also, but I invest in real estate. Every project that I do, I'm using other people's money. I'm using other people's money to build my own capital. I have my own capital if I need to, but as long as I can continue to use other people's money to be able to make money, why use my own? But I had to make sure that my finances were in place in order for someone to even trust me to even be able to give me their money.
See, y'all probably didn't even know nothing about that. That's a financial literate moment right there.
Yeah, I get people even with businesses. A lot of times people are like, they say the biggest issue, like you heard me speak about it when at the boss's breakfast, when I spoke about funding for your business. Remember I asked the question, what's the biggest obstacle that you run into with business? The majority of the room said funding. They said money. And what I tell people all the time, like if you are doing good business and you have the cash flow to come in to be able to pay the bill, use your credit to fund your business. Use your credit to be able to fund your business if you need to, but you have to fix your credit. That the funding should not be an issue for you. The only way that funding should be, like you should be in a certain type of field for funding to be an issue. But if you're a small business and everything like that, and you know that you have the clientele to be able to fulfill what it is that you need, use your credit to fund your business, and then then pay yourself back or pay back your credit. And then next thing you know, you got the capital to be able to operate and do what it is that you need to do. But you get some people that go all in with their capital, use all of their credit. They're starting too prematurely. Next thing you know, they done went into debt. Everything that went bad, but you did things out of order. You didn't even have the clientele. You didn't even have your business structured properly. You weren't ready. You're asking for funding. And then you get some people that get funding and go shopping. You didn't even use the money for your business. Come on.
I'm telling you.
I'm just telling the truth.
You have to let people know how to get in touch with you, and the website, all this and that. And we're gonna have some information after this show is over at the end credits. Y'all know how I do. So don't just stop watching when the show ends because there's end credits. But Wayne, let people know how to get in touch with you.
You can get in touch with me. Our website is figinvest.org. That's figinvest.org. That is our website. You can also follow us on social media. Our social media handle for Instagram is figinvest. If you want to get to me personally, my personal page is myreallegacy_FIG. You can follow me on the same thing on Twitter. I use my Twitter. I actually use my Twitter as like a journal. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I say some things on Twitter that man, I catch some heat for it sometimes, but I give my true thoughts about our community. And I'm very big on holding us accountable. And everything that I say, people don't agree with, but I don't care. Because you know what, I feel like I would be doing my community a disservice to not be honest with them just about the things that it is that I know that's going on, but also about my own personal situations. I speak from a place of love, but unfortunately, that place of love don't always sound good.
Oh well,
but let's see. But those are the places. You can come be friends with me on Facebook. Come kick it with me and my family and everything like that, man. Like, hey, I'm open. I don't have any private pages or anything like that. I'm transparent to the world. The person that it is that you see me as on social media is who I am in real life. I'm just trying to be a better person daily, just be better than I was yesterday. And hey, that's where you can find me. I'm trying to think. Also, I just want to throw this out there. I am also a certified relationship coach, but with a niche in finance. So if there's any couples out there that need any counseling as far as just knowing how to coexist when it comes to your finances and to be able to accomplish those financial goals together, whether it's purchasing a house, being able to prepare for retirement, or just as far as just your everyday life, you're a new couple, you're young. I don't want, one of the biggest causes for divorce is money. So I have a service to be able to help prevent that divorce rate. I also like to mentor young men when it comes to finances, because I feel like, hey, if you don't have your finances in order as a man, you may want to, take a step back from being able to date and going and trying to start a lifestyle with somebody, because you don't, that's my personal opinion. That's how I feel. That's not law, but hey, I know what I see out here. And I know that it's the changes that it is that we need to make in order to be able to better ourselves in these communities and make sure that households are what they're supposed to be. I want to be able to keep men and women in the households, raising their children together, building them up to be what it is that they need to be. We have to change our mind, and we have to be better individually before we can be better together.
That right there, he has said it. So everybody, I want y'all to check out Financial Investment Group. This is Wayne McPherson. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Wayne McPherson.
Oh, great. Because I always want to get people's names right. But I wish we had more time, but you got a customer coming here, me and my husband.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Because, it's never too late. It's never too early, and it's never too late to be financially literate. So y'all take him up on this and make sure that you at least check it out, and give them a call and see what they're talking about, because it's nothing like getting better. That's what we have to always strive for, to get better. Okay.
Yes.
So y'all don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because people are watching. I've noticed that people are watching, and they're watching from the Facebook page and not the YouTube page, so they're not subscribing. And y'all know I need to get those subscribers up so I can get my own thing going.
Yeah, and I do want to mention one thing, and I think you're going to talk about it in your credits, but I just want to be able to talk to people about an event that I do have coming up. Financial Investment Group, we've partnered with Momentous Mentoring, and we have an event for seniors, for graduating seniors. It's going to be on, I believe, July 23rd. We're going to be at Warrensville Library, and what we're doing is we have a financial literacy workshop that we are doing for graduating seniors going on to college, and we're going to be talking about student loans. We're going to talk about staying away from those credit cards when you get on campus, just different ways to be able to maintain your lifestyle while in college and not be able to have to struggle with your finances and things like that. We're going to be talking about those things. That's an event that we have that's going to be on July 23rd. You can go to either one of those social media handles that was mentioned earlier to be able to register for that. And I think you're going to show them more information about that as well. So yes, please, if you have a graduating senior or someone going to college, please sign them up, register them for this. This is going to be an awesome event. Very, very necessary.
All right. I'm glad you plugged that, but it is going to be at the end of the show. So you guys can always watch the show at any time on YouTube. If you missed anything, or if you want to go back through, make sure you give Wayne a call or check him out on Twitter if you want to know the real Wayne. And take your child, your senior, to this event. Like we said, it starts young. Starts young. So Wayne, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to find out about some more things going on with Financial Investment Group. And we're going to always, anytime you want to promote anything, it doesn't have to be honest, you can just let me know and I'll put it on and let people know about it. Okay.
I appreciate you so much. And I thank you again for having me on.
All right. Everybody have a great evening.
Have a good one, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.